Hello friends, today I am here with Natural Resources Part 3 of ninth Standard. Today's topics for discussion are biogeochemical cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle, oxygen cycle and ozone layer. So let us start the session. First we will discuss about what is biogeochemical cycle. We know that physical environment supports life. Now how this physical environment supports life? This is due to cycling of water and nutrients and flow of energy. And the important nutrients are nitrogen, carbon, oxygen and phosphorus. And this cycling of water and nutrients as well as flow of energy is done by cycle. And this cycle is called as biogeochemical cycle. Now, how it is performed? How biogeochemical cycle is performed? So, it is performed with the help of living organisms as well as physical components of the environment. So, biogeochemical cycles are the transfer of matter and energy between biotic and abiotic components of the biosphere. What is it? It is the transfer of matter and energy between biotic and abiotic component of the biosphere. And the common important biogeochemical cycles are water cycle, nitrogen cycle, carbon cycle and oxygen cycle. So here all the cycles we are going to discuss one by one. First, it is about water cycle. It is very common and you all are knowing. So, we know that when water bodies are heated, suppose in the river waters are present, ponds, streams. So, when water bodies are heated during daytime, large amount of water evaporates and it rises up. Some water vapors are also getting into the atmosphere through some biological activities like transpiration and respiration also. So when the water vapor rises up, it cools and after cooling it condenses to form tiny droplets of water. So this appears as cloud. And when the tiny droplets of water join together, they form the larger drop of water, bigger drop of water, and so they fall down on the earth's surface as rain or snow or hail. Some of this water enters the ground and they forms the groundwater. When water flows from land to seas, it carries many nutrients as well as minerals which are used by marine aquatic organisms. So this circulation of water in this manner is called as hydrological cycle or water cycle. Here you can see the figure of water cycle. Here also you can observe. Here you can see the surface water and surface water is heating. On heating up it evaporates and form the cloud, and cloud on condensation they precipitate and they fall down in the form of rain. Now the next is nitrogen cycle. We know that the percentage of nitrogen is maximum in atmosphere, that is 78%. But it cannot be used as majority of organisms. Used as means in the form of nitrogen. Why? Because in atmosphere it is present in the form of nitrogen gas, N2. So first it has to be converted into nitrates for the use of living organisms, particularly first the plants. So this nitrate, formation of nitrate from N2 is either done by industrial nitrogen fixation, means whenever we put fertilizers, or by some nitrogen fixing bacteria like azotobacter or rhizobium. So these two are called as nitrogen fixing bacteria. So So they are responsible for converting the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form of nitrogen, that is nitrates. Industrial nitrogen fixation and nitrogen fixing bacteria, they are responsible for converting atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form of nitrogen, that is nitrates. And this process of conversion of this atmospheric nitrogen, that is N2, into soluble form of nitrogen, that is NO3 nitrates, is called as nitrogen fixation or nitrification. Now these nitrates are absorbed by plants and plants make their own protein, and when these plants are taken or consumed, then animals break down the plant protein and use them to form new animal proteins and other components of the cell. Now, when animal excrete urea or uric acid, or when animals or plant die, certain bacteria perform ammonification, that is conversion of nitrate into ammonia. So they produce ammonium ion, which are again converted into nitrate by nitrification process, but with the help of another class of bacteria. They are Nitrosomonas or Nitrobacter. So here nitrification is done by these types of bacteria, and here the conversion of ammonium ion into nitrate by Nitrosomonas or Nitrobacter. Now finally, again this nitrates is back to nitrogen by denitrifying bacteria, that is by Pseudomonas, and this process is called as denitrification. So what is denitrification? Again nitrates is going back to the nitrogen in the form of back to nitrogen by the process of denitrification, and the bacteria involved are Pseudomonas. Here you can see the nitrogen cycle. Next is about carbon cycle. Carbon is in the form of carbon dioxide and in the atmosphere, and it is used by plants during photosynthesis for the preparation of glucose. So this glucose is used to provide energy and convert into another organic compounds. And when animals eat plants, so this carbon dioxide or source of this carbon enters into the body of animals. And during respiration, energy and carbon dioxides are produced. The carbon dioxide goes back into the atmosphere during respiration. But whenever we burn the combustion, or we burn the, we can say that fuels like coal and petroleum, then also carbon dioxides are released and they are going into the atmosphere. The organic compounds in plants and animals are also converted into carbonates that contains carbon, limestone that also contain carbon, coal, petroleum, exoskeleton, that is cells of some animals. So all these are containing carbon. So carbon is an essential component of biomolecules like carbohydrate, fat, protein, vitamin, nucleic acid. All these contains carbon. Here you can observe the carbon cycle. Now the next cycle is oxygen cycle. We know that oxygen is required for respiration, combustion and formation of oxides of elements like oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, etc. During photosynthesis, oxygen is sent back to the atmosphere, and it is an essential component of biological molecules like carbohydrate, fats and proteins, because oxygen is one of the component of carbohydrate, fats and proteins. And this oxygen is very essential for the survival of living organisms, as during respiration it is required by majority of the organisms. Here you can see the oxygen cycle. Now next topic is ozone layer. What are ozone? How they are formed? Whenever ultraviolet falls on oxygen, that molecular oxygen, then it gets split into atomic oxygen, O plus O. And when this atomic oxygen combined again with oxygen, then it formed the 3 atom of oxygen, that is ozone. And it is present on the upper layer of the atmosphere. Though it is poisonous gas, but it helps in protecting the earth from harmful ultraviolet radiations coming from the sun. And these ultraviolet rays are very harmful to living organisms. So it acts as a shield over the atmosphere. But now ozone layer is being damaged by carbon compounds like chlorofluorocarbons. So we have to prevent this ozone layer. So the use of chlorofluorocarbons is to be minimized. Here you can see the presence of ozone layer. It is between troposphere and stratosphere. Here also you can see that ozone layer is preventing the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, and this prevention helps us to having different deadly diseases like skin cancer, cataract. So this helps in prevention of these diseases. Ozone layer is preventing us from skin cancer and cataract. Why? Because UV rays causes skin cancer and cataract. Here it is the ozone hole. You can see here the purple color indicating the ozone hole. Ozone hole means that is the thinning of ozone layer. Thinning of ozone layer is only due to this greenhouse gases, and the major is chlorofluorocarbons. So this is the end of the today's session and end of this lesson also. Again I will come back with another lesson. Thank you. For any kind of doubts, please write your question in comment section.